again, under NinjaTrader 8 indicators, it's a little bit hidden. So if you click on the indicators, from that main tab, you'll have installation instructions. So you got to go down just a little bit to step 2 over here, and you'll have install instructions. So whenever we do an update, you're going to download the update package, and you're going to follow the instructions for installing the indicators. In short version, it'll overwrite your templates and charts, and then you're going to import the zip file, which I think we're on 51 right now. So anyway, as long as it's 27.38 higher, you'll be fine. And again, let us know if you have any questions. We'll be more than happy to help you guys. And for those of you guys who have not yet purchased the automated system, you can still do that at this time. So we've had a lot of requests for that, so we're not going to shut down the ability for you guys to purchase it now. Please ask your salesperson for a link, and he'll get you a link to the purchase page. Thank you. I want to go through our automated trend trade strategy upgrades and some of the inputs that will be changing. Also, on the trend trade strategy, there's another one where we go through input meetings and rules for entry signals and how to get this grid, which I'm making a change to right now. So we're going to go through some of the changes that we've made to the strategy for you. So first thing you're going to do when you open the workspace, there's workspaces that were created on 9/12. You're going to go into strategies on your larger chart, and you can just remove the strategy if it's on there, if you've updated. If not, and you're brand new, then that's fine. What you're going to do is you're going to open up the Nexgen Strategies folder, and you're going to double click on the trend trade to put it down here. You can highlight it and click add, either or. And then you're going to go through your settings. You know, again, I've set up some pretty good default settings for you guys. Let those run for a little bit. The other thing one thing that we have changed in this version is we've added a third session. And we've also changed the way the session times look and how you can adjust them. So you can use the up and down arrows, or you can type in here what you want, either way. And what I've done is I've set up, this is a very good time template to kind of filter out some of the bad times. So it trades from midnight to the London Open, where it gets a little squirrely. And then it skips the US Open and starts trading at 10:15 a.m. These are Eastern time settings. If you are not in Eastern time, let's say you're out in California or Washington State, you're going to want to adjust these 3 hours back each if your clock is not Eastern time on your computer. The other thing that I've done is I've changed some of the colors. I haven't changed anything. I've just changed the colors. I think visually it's going to look a little bit easier for you guys. And then the other thing that we've got, I've got a lot of ATMs. You guys have 2 of them. You've got one for the NQ, and you've got one for the S&P. And these will get you started. You can always change them, tweak them, save them on your own. You guys know how to do that. If not, look it up in our user guide. And then you're going to make sure that you're on the correct account, whether it's replay, or if you want to do live, or if you want to go sim. And then you're going to click enable and say OK. And again, you'll know that you've got the system on the chart when you can see arrows. And this is one of the changes that I made right here. I made the arrows down for shorts red, and I made the arrows blue for long trades, just so it's a little bit easier. And then to enable the system to take trades, all you have to do is click enabled. So make sure your ATM is set in the system. It doesn't matter if you have an ATM over here. If you want to do manual trading, obviously you're going to want an ATM. You can do whatever you want. You can use the system ATM, or you can do something different. The system does not use this one. It uses the one that's in the inputs. People mess that up quite a bit. The other change that we've made for you to make things easy is you can right click on the enabled button, and you can click on show hide signals grid. And this signal grid is very important for everybody. And, again, maybe you don't like these colors. You can always change them. I wanted to coordinate them with blues on the long side and reds on the short side, but you're more than welcome to change the colors if it's more visually appealing to your eyes. So what happens a lot of you guys have been testing individual rules, whether it's just divergence or just divergence plus the trigger lines crossed or whatever, which, by the way, I've got that template in there for you guys to play with. It's not the best, it's just a test. But what happens, and why this grid is very important, is you can see where all the rules became true, we get a long signal. So, and again, if all the short rules become true, which only happens on this one bar, you get a short signal. When you're sending to us a picture that says, hey, I'm not taking trades, or hey, I thought, make sure you're including the grid. You don't have to run it live during the day. You can right click and turn it off, up to you. But if you right click and show it and say, hey, I expected a trade here, let's just, for hypothetical, I expected a trade here, why didn't it trade? And then we can look at the grid and say, well, all the rules weren't true at the exact same time. There was always one thing that was off. So whatever it is, we didn't have divergence. So, again, this grid is very important for you guys, because there's another thing that happens with the system. If it runs too long, or your computer goes goofy, or Ninja goes goofy, you may see all of these boxes will be empty. If they're all empty, it means you need to close your Ninja, clean out your temp and your cache folders, and then restart Ninja. And then you should have everything working again. So the two main reasons why people don't get signals, there are three main reasons. Number one, they've got the time sessions wrong. So, whether, and if you set it for 24 hours and you say, I'm just going to watch it and filter it, I'm doing replay, that's totally fine. You can do whatever you want to do with that. The other thing that causes people to not run and get signals is right here. You have to have an ATM strategy in there, period. If you don't, it doesn't have any stops and targets, and it won't actually enter a trade. Most of you guys had it enabled. So it's the ATM, the time sessions, or your grid is totally empty because your computer is tired. NinjaTrader is tired. We'll call it whatever you want to call it. So again, this grid is very important when you're doing tech support or you're asking questions. Please show us this grid. It'll make your life easy. In a future update, hopefully later today, we'll be adding in a couple more features like a pivot stop out. We'll create a new divergence and a couple small other touch-ups. But this has, some of the things in there, and this is the big one for you guys. Right click and show in the red signals. If you have any questions, let me know.